Hi guys, welcome back to Glossandsparkle. So what I have for you today is a dupe for the Modern Renaissance palette. And this one only costs $10. If you guys have been watching any of my other dupe videos, yes, they have been pretty impressive thus far. I've been pretty impressed at least. So yeah, this is also from Bad Habit and this retails for $10 as opposed to, how much is the Modern? $42 for the Modern Renaissance, and I will be showing you side-by-side comparisons. So this packaging is just slightly different than the other ones that I've shown. It just slides out like this as opposed to being in an actual box. So I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but it does have a magnetic closure, so the packaging is very, very nice as well. This is what the palette looks like. Super pretty colors. I don't know why, but in the camera, I think it's because of the bright lights. All of these shades are looking very light. Oh, there we go. That's a little bit more true to color. It has some really beautiful peaches and apricots and terracottas and fuchsias. That, of course, is what the Modern Renaissance is. It pulls very warm and orangey and pink and reddish. So, super pretty. So a few of my favorite shades in this palette are Primrose, which is like a mauve-y, dusty rose color, and then Throne, and then Grand. All three of those are matte shades. But Majestic is also very beautiful, but you have to build it up. That is the one complaint slash observation I will make about this palette, is that they can be pigmented, but you need to build them up. And I would say these shades are better for someone who uses their fingers, like me, to apply my eyeshadow rather than a brush, because your fingers have oils on them, and once they warm up to your skin, it just kind of blends nicer and it gives you a little bit more pigment. And that's how I normally apply my shadow anyway, so this worked out perfect. So let's take a look at the side-by-side comparisons of the Modern Renaissance palette versus the Royals palette. So this is not a replica palette, it's a dupe. So it's not an exact representation of the Modern Renaissance, which I really appreciate. I don't like counterfeit items. I just like things that are supposed to be dupes, as in less expensive but sort of the same thing. And I tried my best, because they're not in the same spots, I tried my best to line them up close enough to the one that it's supposed to replicate. So you'll notice that these hues are slightly different than the ones in the actual Modern Renaissance palette. I would have to say that the shimmer shades, I dare say they're better than in the Modern Renaissance palette. However, the matte shades, not so much. I really, really like some of the matte shades, like I said earlier, but they're just not as pigmented as in the actual Modern Renaissance palette. Nonetheless, it is a very beautiful palette in itself, but I'd say compared to the Modern Renaissance, yeah, it's not that good of a dupe. I mean, maybe when you look at it in the pan, it is, but when it's actually swatched on the hands, on the eye, where it actually counts, it's not that good of a representation, in my opinion. So do I think that this palette is worth $10? Sure, yeah, I do. But do I think it compares greatly to the Modern Renaissance? Not really. So in both the Modern Renaissance palette and in this palette, you're going to be getting 14 shades. So in the Modern Renaissance, that equals out to $3 per shade. Whereas in this one, it equals 71 cents per shade. So big price gap there. So I just wanted to point out too that these are cruelty-free. So for those of you who are into cruelty-free makeup, which I want to be, but there's just so many brands that I still really like and use, so I have not gotten there yet. But yeah, if you are interested in cruelty-free, they are. So overall, I think it's a pretty nice palette, but when it comes to being a dupe for the Modern Renaissance, the Modern Renaissance is definitely better. But if you only want to spend $10, then that's going to be totally up to you. So I think it's up to each person to decide what's worth it for them. But anyway, I will leave the link to this product in the down bar so you can head on over there and check them out. And if you like dupe videos like this, don't forget to leave me a comment, like this video, and subscribe if you're not already. And I'll see you next time. Bye!